Good evening, everyone, and welcome tonight to day number 137. Huge update tonight. Good news. I've got Zhenya Matsutsa waiting to roll with us tonight. Going to be a full update. We're catching him before a big run back with some humanitarian aid, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Chuck Pinkham, welcome to you, and as always, I think Chuck Pinkham is the first commentator of the night all the time, so very much appreciated, dear sir, out in San Jose, California. Cheryl Brownlee, God bless you. Paul Kiss, our resident Canadian Pennsylvanian. We might even talk about Canada tonight. Rita Berryman, welcome to you. Rick Berry, Slava Ukraina. Ricochet, welcome to you, my friend. Don Gentilini, as always, God bless you. What a powerful message this morning. We stand with Ukraine until victory. Amen. Much appreciated. Ro Gammon, welcome down there in Richmond, Virginia. Jennifer Grover, Jeffrey Burnett, Kim Porter, all you guys. As always, thank you, especially to Jeffrey Burnett helping with the moderation. That's a big deal. Ben Waldrum, I see you there. Good evening to you as well, sitting on the sofa there. Past the sweet tea, please. John McElvey, Mr. Alabama, welcome to you. So, folks, today, of course, a big day with Chasiv Yar. We will talk about that. And Nate Wright, welcome to you, buddy. Nice to see you in here tonight. So we're going to talk about Chasiv Yar, but there's something else we're going to talk about tonight. It is day 137, and we are looking at a new week ahead. President Zelensky today made some very, very interesting comments. There's been other things that have happened on the front with ambassadors, attacks, financial movements, products, and in fact, I was actually blown away. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I was absolutely blown away today when a news article came out from Reuters. I'm going to wait because I'm going to share it in a little while. A news article came out from Reuters, and it made me feel good. Not with what happened or what it's talking about, but I think we beat them to the punch. Shirley Phelps, Washington State, God bless you. As always, welcome to all of you. Any updates on Lithuania? Well, Lithuania, it's about the same. They have continued to blockade the transport of sanctioned goods into Belarus, into Russia, into Kaliningrad, and they are continually being threatened. In fact, Lukashenko made some statements about Lithuania within the last 24 hours. So that one's a question mark. I gave a graphic last night on Lithuania. Belarus is loading up. And of course, a majority of that loading is Russia. So we shall see. Who would have thought that Russia would have attacked Ukraine on February the 24th? And there's no way we can give conjecture on what they would do in another nation. Would they? Absolutely. They've already done it. So we shall see. But that's the update for you there. So welcome to all of you. All of our guys that come in on Reddit, thank you for being here and being a part of this community. Make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, talk, enjoy yourself. Folks, here we go. R period. I love that name right there. Thank you for your support and glad you're here live tonight. Welcome to you. All right, folks, where else you going to get live from Ukraine? The man, the legend. Here we go. Gonna be an interesting time together. Be blessed, and if you got any questions, we're gonna roll with them, but let me get the man in here. I think it's right here. Good morning to you, my friend. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening. I know you've got some traveling to do tomorrow, and we're also working on getting some of our humanitarian aid that you've procured and secured. It'll start the process of getting into Khmelnytsky, getting back into Ukraine, rather.
Yeah, sure.
So very thankful. Tomorrow, I know you're traveling, so be very careful. And I'll check on you during the day and see how things are going. With that said, Jacob, the title of the program tonight is twofold, and I'm going to hand it a little differently. This is day number 137, and probably out of that 137, you've been with me at least 80 or 90 days. So at least for a little segment or full programs. So tonight, I want to handle it a little differently. We'll do similar to what we've done, talking about topics, but
Mhm.
as well as we do in the past, you don't even know what the topics are coming. I do send you the thumbnail. So I want to handle it a little differently tonight. And I want to start with a couple of breaking news events, and then we're going to do a little bit of analysis. So the title of the program tonight is
Mhm.
Chasiv Yar, and we're going to look at that. And then I want to talk about the week ahead. I
Mhm.
have a little recording of President Zelensky. I'll play that in just a moment. But it seems to me, in fact, we can start here. It seems to
Mhm.
me that this week ahead, Ukraine is going to make some adjustments. President Zelensky even spoke about it. Ukrainian military's been speaking about it. I don't know how to say it, but it just feels like it looks like this week ahead is going to be vitally important to how this war moves over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. It's like the pot is boiling as far as the front
Mhm.
lines.
Mhm.
You get that feeling?
Yeah, it's obvious something is changing, and going. I mean, looking from the logic, Russia could take a break, should take a break, but because they lost a lot of their soldiers and the weapons, but they don't stop. They feel
No.
something, they know something. This is why they keep going. It doesn't matter how many lives their soldiers, I mean, they're losing.
Yeah, there was,
There is a reason.
there was some rotation after Severodonetsk and Lysychansk around to like Liman, and we can look at it on the map in a
Mhm.
second, but and kind of a tactical pause on ground forces pushing, but in reality, there's not been a pause because the shelling is
Mhm.
nonstop. The missile strikes are nonstop, and it's almost as if I don't know how to explain this other than you do not want to give your an opponent an opportunity to rest a moment or replenish. So, Russia's treating Ukraine that way, but Ukraine also is treating Russia that way on the front line. You know, we don't want them to reset. And that's one of the things that I think Zelensky's going to be pushing for. In fact, I don't want to give it away. I will tell everybody what Zelensky said in just a few minutes. Let's wait on
Okay.
that one because it's a big one. So let's start here because I really want to get to what Zelensky said tonight. Let's go here, and I'm going to bring up a picture for you and let you talk. So, sir, this is Chasiv Yar. This is in the Donetsk Oblast. In fact, I have another image here to show people where it's located. This would be basically between Bakhmut and Konstantinovka and Kramatorsk. In fact, when you were in this region on the last trip, you may even have been, you were probably close to Chasiv Yar at
Mhm.
some point in your travels. So let's go back, and I know it's on all the big news. I have the number 15 there with an equal sign or greater. As of right now, we have 15 confirmed dead. Many are still trapped under the rubble. They're hearing them, they're trying to get to them. It's terrible. You sent me video of
Mhm.
that explosion, and
Mhm.
there was some cursing in English, so I chose not to show it. Um, I mean, in fact, it was almost painful to watch because it was a direct strike on that building, and it
Mhm.
was a tremendous explosion. So I don't want to hear about the building wasn't well maintained or the infrastructure failed. No, it was a direct strike, and it was a huge explosion. So
Mhm.
tell us about Chasiv Yar.
The next crime, and one more time, the question is, will be any country or leaders or politics who will try after that somehow to explain or to protect Russian special operation, their, let's say, pretension or attempts to, to get some more Ukrainian territory, and somehow to comment they are not killing civilians, they're trying to do, just to fight with Ukrainian army or denazified or something. It's not denazification.
No.
It's a crime. It's a 5-floor building, almost half of it, destroyed completely. People at this moment, there is still some more people in under that ruins,
Mm-hmm.
rubbles,
Under the rubble.
under the rubble. And what will be fair to them? What kind of decision right now the world have to make in the risk if they will die? It should be a pressure. It should be a pressure on the normal people, government who is able to change at least something, to create
Yeah.
more pressure to stop Russia. It's,
I
one more day of reality. It's a crime, and who will forget it? Who will
well,
forget?
day 137, we've had this same discussion many times. But with the things I'm going to share in a few minutes, something feels different about this, meaning they're all equally horrendous and attacks on civilians, and then it's called something else. But I think we're to the place now in the war where Ukraine is going to try and get a little more aggressive. I don't want to give away what Zelensky said, but something just doesn't feel right. I don't know how to say it better than that. And we've been here for 137 days in a row, and something for this week feels like something. I know I'm talking in circles because I don't know what to say other than it feels like something big is going to happen this week. That's what I think.
And Putin did promise in last their threats. There were some of Russian speakers, let's say, were threatening and with some dates and periods.
Yes.
This is what Ukraine has to stop. This is what Baltic country has to do. Otherwise, we will do that. We will do that. And now on the political arena, we discussed it before. It's absolute devastation, let's say, of Russian politics there and Russian role, let's say. So what they gonna do?
It feels like I think maybe I can put it in words now.
Okay.
Let me try this, because I've been struggling on how to word this for tonight. But it feels like a few days ago, Putin said, "You haven't seen anything yet. We haven't even started fighting." Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It feels to me like he wants to prove that now. That's just what I'm saying. And that's on the Russian side. Now, on the Ukrainian side, it feels to me like, and this is watching this every day, that Zelensky's aware of it and the Ukrainian defense is aware of that. And they feel a pressure this week to make some very good moves, be aggressive, strike back hard. We get to the same thing. We need weapons, but it seems like we're coming to a point where there could be an increase in this war. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, and yes, it's obvious. We you we got a lot of news about Ukrainian strikes on the let's say Russian warehouses of the weapon.
Yes, we're tearing them
And
up.
I mean, it's more than 20 already,
Yes, sir.
and
Let
it
me let
it
me clarify that. Ukraine has done a phenomenal job over the last 4 or 5 days. We have destroyed many munition dumps, warehouses in multiple regions, Donetsk region, Kherson, Zaporozhia. We have hit them hard. Melitopol. Um, it just seems like something's building.
and I think, I mean, I think we have some uh, plan for the south part,
Don't
very
give away.
specific.
Shh. You're right. Shh. That's the big news. We're coming to it.
Okay,
Let's go. Let me get you away from the South. Let's go to the North. Um, Released today out of Kyiv. There has been, listen, this is about any nation. It could be, it doesn't matter. In wars, there are saboteurs. There are
mm-hmm,
spies in Russia. There are spies in Ukraine for both sides. There are, when
mm-hmm,
America's at war, we have spies, we have traitors. I mean, our famous, you know, and Americans in here watching this will know, we have a slang where it says you're a Benedict Arnold, meaning you're a traitor. But the last couple of days, Kyiv released that there has been a real push of saboteurs trying to come into Kyiv, but they're catching them. But there's a lot, how would I say it? There's a higher than normal number. Once
yeah,
again, this pushes me to that feeling. Here we are, July the 10th, July the 11th, where you're at. And it just seems that this week is building to something. I don't know what it is, but they're catching more saboteurs. So it's good, but they're there.
and yes, I mean coming to the north activity, let's say the Belarusian air forces having a lot of military games trainings, including paratroopers game
Mm-hmm.
preparations, and so a lot of airplanes from uh, military airplanes from Russia are there preparing something. Surely we do prepare our side in the north side, not north borders. And yes, and coming coming to the next topic of Точка U.
Yes,
Okay,
we're going to get
and
there. Correct. Go ahead.
okay,
Um, it's the same thing. So to finish out the Belarusian thought, even right now, a lot of planes are in the air from Belarus. They just sent out the alert. There's lots of air raid alerts in the north of Ukraine. In fact, let me go here for this. To Cam right there. Um, we'll get to the Tochka U in a second. I hit the wrong button. So saboteurs, but now there's lots of airplane activity tonight, and I can't remember the model number, but it was the in America it's the AWACS, which is the airplane that has the satellite dish on top that is put into the air to help
mm-hmm,
control military action. Two of those today came in from Russia into Belarus, and then I mean, like right now there are air raid signals happening throughout northern Ukraine, and we have
mm-hmm.
confirmation that airplanes are in the air. So we're just waiting. That normal time is starting now for lots of cruise missile strikes or airstrikes. So there is a step up on the north side from Belarus.
And Точка U.
Okay. Here's the Tochka
On the
U. Here you go. Right there. Tochka U. Now, I have Lugansk here, but they're everywhere. They're on all the borders, but
including Belarusian border.
including Belarus. But
Why?
isn't it
Why it's
is
important?
tell me why it's important.
Because it's they already a few times were trying to assure people that they don't have Tochka U on their side. That only Ukraine has it.
This is the missile that struck the Kramatorsk Railway on day 50 when we covered it, or day somewhere around there, and 50 people were killed. It was Tochka U. They tried to blame Ukraine. We don't have Tochka U's. Hold your thought and watch this. This is out of Lugansk today. I have a question for you. As of right now, who's controlling majority of Lugansk Oblast? As of right now.
Yes, surely.
Just answer. Russia.
Russian.
Okay, pause. Wait. So this is Lugansk today.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2. I don't know what that car is doing. He's crazy. 3, 4, 5, 6. Jacob, it just keeps coming. A complete infrastructure there of Tochka U's. That's from Lugansk. A loyal Ukrainian sent out the video and said, listen, it's here. It's here. It's a problem.
Yes, because when they are using Tochka U, they blaming and trying to shout it loudly on international level that Ukrainians are attacking, and it's proved because this is Tochka U. But surely it's like, it will work just for inside of Russia and maybe some Donetsk and Lugansk area for occupied territory, maybe on Crimea.
Well, listen, the Tochka U saying Ukraine's the only one that has it. And tonight, we've stated it multiple times. I'm going to come back to it. It feels like something's going to happen this week that's significant. Every day's been significant. Please don't misunderstand me, but I mean a little higher level significant.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we have alive people under the rubble of a building that was destroyed. There gets nothing higher than that, so please don't misunderstand me. The value of human life is number one. But at the same time, it just seems like we're coming to some type of head. I didn't plan to talk about this, but, this is what people need to understand. There's the blame game, there's the propaganda game, but the UN came out today. We go all the way back into the early days of the war, in the 20s, I think it was, and there was a nursing home that was destroyed, full of older people. Russia struck it. They said Ukraine was using it as a military base and using the people as human shields. So the United Nations comes out today and says, Ukraine has fault in that missile strike. So they blamed, did you see it?
Not yet.
You will. They blamed Russia, and they ruled that Ukraine was at fault too. Listen, don't read it. You'll get upset. But the point is, when is the world going to wake up? When is the world going to understand that you were attacked? You did not attack. It is not Ukraine committing genocide. The Russian military is committing genocide under the leadership of a dictator, Vladimir Putin. How are we at day 137 and we still have to talk about the same topic? The world and the speed of the response. Yeah, I don't understand it.
I mean, okay, NATO in a short time, short period, can move hundreds, thousands of the soldiers and uh, and weapon and all together, just like that, to
Just
needy
like that,
place.
bud.
Yes, and at this moment, okay, forget about Lend Lease for this moment yet. But what about the
Land lease.
rest?
Yep.
What about the rest?
I couldn't
Where is
agree with you
just like
more.
that?
You know,
Where is
last night I was talking about, you know, continuing on the story we talked about blowing up the Kerch bridge and how that it's not possible yet. And, you know, made another joke back to your SpongeBob joke. And it just, I gave an example that if America could just roll the Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier into the Black Sea, and then others in the chat were mentioning were the Harry Truman's even closer, and that's the name of our ship. If we could roll it into the Black Sea, Jania, this would be over. I'm telling you, it would be over. If we put 100 planes in the air, it's over. And just to stand by, there is. I hate conspiracy theories, brother. I hate it. But somewhere, something's goofy. Somewhere,
okay?
there's money, there's corruption, there, of course, but
Okay,
somewhere. So, listen,
question.
Canada today. Go ahead. Your question. Your turn. Uh-oh.
Okay, Canada today. You going to touch the turbines?
If you want to touch Canada, we can. I wasn't planning because I didn't want to make anybody mad, but hello.
Okay, Canada will send back the turbine to
Repaired.
support repair to support North Stream,
The Nord Stream.
Nord Stream.
Yes.
What for?
Exactly. Now, with that said,
It's like
hey,
exclusions.
many Canadians today are very angry. Okay? Because Canada
Okay,
supports Ukraine. And we
okay,
have Canadians in here that support and love Ukraine. And I was reading about it and I said, I don't think I'm going to touch that yet. I want some more information. But we went ahead and touched it. But Canadians, as I was reading, were very angry, going, hold on, we're
okay,
supporting Ukraine. Why are we helping repair the Nord One?
okay. Let's come to that. Uh, uh, Coming, I mean, started from Canadian. It will be Canadians. I mean, will it be better if this war will be over and with Ukrainian victory? Will it be better for Canadians to stop the war? Yes, I'm sure that
Agreed.
way. Will it be good for United States if this war will be over with a Ukrainian victory? Prices are, I mean, going up with the fuel and a lot of things. The crisis plus regular nuclear strike threats. Is there? I mean, is there interest of United States people? I mean, just normal Americans to stop the war with Ukrainian victory? Yes. Will it be good for Europe? Yes, sure. I mean, almost maybe not for Orban, but and
Hungary,
some
but
other.
everybody else, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Will it be good and better for normal Russian people with a long-term perspective? Yes. The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Then the question, who and why is stopping that process?
Bud, this is the question of the day, the question of the war. I I do not know the answer because something is illogical here and we're just trying to call it and identify it every day. I know in America, for example, and I don't make this is always about Ukraine, but in America, we're under a lot of chaos right now in our own government. We're under a lot of chaos in our country. And it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent libertarian, our country is in chaos. You're entitled to whatever view you want. Okay, that's fine. But it's almost as if when you have something of this magnitude in a foreign country that your country is supporting and trying to help, it becomes a distraction from the internal issues of the country. And okay, let's let this war go on a little bit longer because now it takes the attention away from some of our own problems and struggles. So I don't know. I'm not going to chase rabbits or conspiracy theories, but for sure, something's strange.
I think it will be revealed later, for
I do
sure.
too.
It will be revealed soon, like step by step. And
I couldn't agree more. Something feels, and listen, I can't put any science with this. We only give facts here, things that we can verify. But for tonight, day 137, please, folks, allow us to have a feeling. Here's the feeling. It feels like something's getting ready to change. That's all I can say. And we'll see. We shall see. I want to go to this one now, Jania.
yes,
Unbelievable. In fact, let me roll this little video clip here, about 20 seconds. No sound, but here's a little bit of video. When was this video? This morning in Ukraine. So we come back to this crisis of wheat and grain and other crops and the battle to get them out. I want to make one other statement and then I'll turn you loose on this. Last night on the program, let me go here. Last night on the program, Jania, you were resting. I was talking about Sri Lanka. Okay. Sri Lanka. And I just brought it back to how right now I go back to the Putin plan, the show from about a week ago, where I stated Putin's goal is just to destabilize the world. And that's what's happening. And we see it. We saw the Japanese prime minister assassinated. And I'm not saying that's Russia or Ukraine, but it's just a part of destabilization. We see the chaos in economies. And then yesterday, we saw the Sri Lankan government basically being overthrown by a coup, and people in the streets, people in the president's house, the prime minister's house, burning stuff, swimming in their pools, overthrowing the government. We know now that the government is going to step down. Sri Lanka will get a new government. I told everybody, and that's why I like video. 24 hours ago, I told everybody that there's something here connected to the war in Russia and Ukraine. And today, I think Secretary of State Blinken, listen to me, this was reported on Reuters. Russia's blockage of Ukrainian grain exports contributed to the Sri Lankan turmoil, according to Secretary of State Blinken. I just knew it. All of these things are connected. When you start talking about affecting the ability of the world to eat, you have a global war. So we're burning fields, whether it's from shells, munitions, or on purpose. And I said, if we can't have the grain, nobody can have the grain. So what do we do? How do we stop it?
Okay, probably I will I just want to remind one of the messages of Lukashenko the previous year when he was telling like these things. Okay, let's use Syrian refugees to create a crisis in Europe. We will be transporting them for free
Mm-hmm.
to the Polish borders and just send them there. You know, it's like why he was using that kind of example. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a logic. There is a logic. So here the same. I mean, knowing the flows, knowing, I mean, the flows of the transportation of the grains and the exports,
Yes.
and how it's important. Then remembering the part of Russia and part of Ukraine in it, and attacking it, surely it will be the destabilization of the world. And take now Sri Lanka, take now Syria, still Syria, and then uh, okay, just if we will make a pause and think about just a minute. Okay, no grain there. If the flows will be stopped, what kind of consequences for Germany, for whole Europe, let's say, for United States, for Great Britain, what kind of consequences it could be? And yes, and the question is what is interest and whose interest, and now we can see who stands behind of it.
Well,
Who?
your point is perfect because let me be honest with you. In America, for example, we do not need to import anything. We can grow enough food to feed ourselves. California can grow enough food to feed our country, period. Iowa, all these nations. In fact, around my house, Jane, it's nothing but farms and fields and just food everywhere.
Mhm.
But even though we have all this ability to do that, there's still a global food flow. And there's a transport system and there's exports and imports. So when you take out such a huge part of the global economy of food that Ukraine provides, and then you block it and you hold the world hostage and you burn it down, it doesn't matter that the United States can feed itself because there's going to be such a hole in the world of food and infrastructure and the timing to make deliveries that all it's going to do is make it worse and worse and worse. And it affects, as you said, the whole world.
Mhm.
Dude, listen, Iceland, I know it's small. Estonia, Latvia, they can't feed themselves. There is a we're not even talking about Africa, India, Sri Lanka. We're not talking about these places where millions and millions, no, billions of people live. So this is the plan of destabilization. Now, with that said,
Mhm.
there's also this plan, energy destabilization. This, of course, is a picture of the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant and released today information. We've talked about this. There's two things. Number one, Russia is using this as a military base. I actually showed this, and I can go here just to remind everybody. But this is located, let me make it orange. So, where we're talking about is right there on the map. And
Mhm.
they're using it nonstop to attack in different locations and to shell. And unfortunately, Ukraine has to be very careful to fire back because Ukraine will not attack that nuclear power plant. That's number one.
Ukraine will not attack, but Russians already
Sure.
prepared a plan
Why?
They already prepared a plan
You're
to
right.
fake it in any time and then to blame Ukrainians, and it's proved, it's
Okay.
there.
We've been friends for a long time and we've been in crazy places together. And I trust you with my life. And I think you trust me with yours. But the way we think alike is scary. We do not pre-discuss any of this ever. We want the real feel. Jacob, what I was going to say was exactly that. Because right now, this week upcoming, do you know who's inside the nuclear power plant? I will tell you. Russian media is there, and they are preparing documentaries. They are preparing information. It's a fact. They're there. They're filming, and there is not strategy. There is intelligence out that Russia is planning, if things go sideways, a potential provocation at the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. And of course, Ukraine does it. They're there to
Okay,
film it. The media crews
okay.
are there.
Uh,
Not,
let
it's a
okay.
fact. It's a fact.
Yes, it's a fact. Coming to the beginning, Russia announces special operation. The countries, I mean, a lot of countries, just in their news, just doing the same. They having news, Russia starting the special operation in Ukraine for the interest of people of Lugansk and Donetsk because of the pressure, Russian language, blah blah blah. Now, capturing power plants, one of the biggest in Europe, biggest, stealing
Think
our
about that.
electricity,
The biggest in
electricity,
Europe.
stealing electricity.
Yes.
I mean, to them, stealing, blocking our ports, which we're using for not for military purposes,
To feed the
absolutely,
world.
to feed the world, stealing our grains and looking for partners who will help them to sell it, the stolen stuff, burning burning out the fields with the grains. Now we cannot make a harvest.
Right now, they're on fire.
Okay, let's come back to the beginning. How many countries after that, on this moment, said, okay, we were wrong. Russia, it's not just aggressor. It's not possible to have a diplomatic relationship with this kind of criminals, thieves, liars,
Mm-hmm.
occupants, and we stop it. No. Why? Do I mean, say the facts?
You do say the facts.
Okay, did they announce the president of the Russia say we are not attacking civilians. It's all about denazification and of Ukraine, and it's all about Lugansk and Donetsk area.
Pause.
Okay, and what now?
No, go ahead. I'll get it ready.
The question, what is now?
Okay.
Do,
Now,
with all of it, does all the countries continuing having the same kind diplomatic relationship as before?
correct. So, make it very clear what you're saying. We're coming to liberate Lugansk, and we're coming to liberate Donetsk. I have a couple of questions for you. Okay? The Italian guy smoked Solovyov, by the way. I played it twice last night. It was so good. But they're very clear. They want that Transnistria. They're very clear. They want this entire Black Sea coastline. But we're only coming to rescue these two places. Forget all of that, okay? I want to look for tonight at just one place and ask you a question. This place. This is Kharkiv.
Yes.
It is non-stop destroying that city. We've talked about it. We continue to talk about it. But here's what I want the world to know tonight. If Lugansk and Donetsk was the goal, then what on earth are you doing here? And secondly, why, over the last couple of days, have you released the new Kharkiv Oblast symbols, flags, everything that's going to be when Kharkiv is conquered and a part of this plan now? Because I go back to the same thing I've said from day one. You take a line from Sumy, you push it to the top of where the Transnistria is, and at the minimum, this is what they want. It's the same thing the Italian guy said, because a blind man could see this. They came out and said, Kharkiv, we're already creating their new two-headed eagle, their new flags, their new identification. Why? Why are you doing that if you just came to liberate your people in Lugansk and Donetsk? That's the question, and the world just watches it go.
Okay, the question next. If let's for a minute, it will not happen, but okay, if Russia will succeed in this with this plan, yes. So all the guarantees of the other biggest nation, not just of Budapest Memorandum, where we're leaving aside our nuclear weapon, giving it out for the protection, for the promises of the protection our borders. If it will happen, for example, it will not happen, but if it would happen, whom other country would trust after that, and whose power they will believe? The power of diplomatic relationship, of the law, of the international agreements, or power of thief, liar, rude, crazy, murder Russia, who is doing whatever they want, but they succeed in that.
That's correct. It's
we're
at a sensitive time.
You understand? Then all the others international agreements will mean nothing. So
every international agreement is meaningless. That's what it means.
If in this war, the world will stand together with Ukraine, who is waiting and requesting, hey guys, look what's going on. And if the world would not stay with us, think about opposite.
Correct. And that's
then
where we're at.
Then the other country will choose to support the beast, to be having agreement with the beast, with the thief, with the criminals, doesn't matter. But the results shows the reality.
That's right.
Not blah, 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 blah. So, not blah, blah, blah. Give us weapon to stop it.
Well, here's the other thing, Zhenya. And I don't want to get into all of this, but this is a different world than you and I grew up in. And this is a different world than our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents grew up in. We live in a society now that is so self-absorbed so self-entitled. It doesn't matter, what country you're in and what economic level you're on. For many of these nations, it's all about yourself. It's all about your own country. It's all about, can I have this TV, or if I can have this game, or if I can. The world has lost the meaning and understanding of what it means to work together. I believe that with all of my heart. I go back to the African food crisis in the 80s when all these great artists from America put out the famous song, "We Are the World, We Are the Children." A beautiful thing where the world came together to help feed Africa. We've lost something over the last decades, and I think that is why a lot of these agreements, memorandums are meaningless now. And I think you're spot on. Now, I was going to play Zelensky's speech, but I won't. I'll tell you the three main topics, because he said three things. He said today, the front line will hold as long as the back line stays strong. And what he meant by that was, our guys on the front are going to do good. They're pros. But we have to keep the back line. And what that meant was, stay unified in Ukraine. Stay unified in the world. Keep supplying weapons. The backside, keep telling the story. Those that are doing journalism, keep telling the truth. Keep sharing. Do everything that we've done. If the back will stay strong, our frontline guys will stay strong. If we grow weak, they'll grow weak. And that was it was a very good thing he said. He secondly said he wanted to thank the United, as always, polite United States and other nations for helping. And then thirdly, he talked about right now, Ukraine is in need of fixing some infrastructure that is limiting them from supporting their military. There's been so many roads and trains and infrastructures that Ukraine is having to do like some emergency management to repair bridges and roads, and some nations are jumping in to help. He said, please, you must help, because if these are not repaired, we can't get the supplies. And then finally, he made a statement. He says, listen, today I had to make switches on the Czech, Germany, Hungary, Norway, and India ambassadors. And the world went crazy with that, saying, oh, there it is. Germany, you're out, ambassador, and Hungary and Czech, Norway, and India. And Zelensky came out and said, listen, it's not about that. It's a normal rotation pattern and timing. Now, whether it is or not, doesn't matter, but we've got ambassador changes. Now, at the end, this is where I want to close tonight. Those were the things Zelensky said today. But at the end, this is what led me to say the week ahead is going to be interesting. I'll go back to the map with us right here. You can confirm this. But today, Kyiv told the people in Kherson, in Novokakhovka, in other towns and villages through this southern area, some in the Zaporozhye Oblast, some, of course, in the Kherson Oblast. He said, leave. And here's the thing. It wasn't leave because Russia's doing so much, but it's actually the opposite. He said, dear Ukrainians, do your best to leave because we're coming. He said, this week, we have a major plan to push on the South. He said, so we really need you to get out of our way. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you they're coming. They're coming to the South. And it was not, people will take that and run with it. So I want everybody to know the truth tonight. Zelensky's not telling people to get out. because of Russia or this other stuff. He's saying, get out of the way and let us liberate our land. So I don't know what's in store, but that's why we titled the program Update on the destroyed building and also the look ahead for the week. I think Ukraine has something in store. In fact, can I go ahead and tell something now? Sure, I can. It was 3 or 4 days ago in our private conversations. You told me, listen, something's coming down south. Something's coming. So you told me not to share. I didn't. But now Zelensky said it, so now I can share. Something's coming. You knew it from some military guys you were talking to, but now it's been made public. I don't know what it is, but I know that Ukraine said, get the heck out of the way, guys. We're coming. So it's exciting. We'll see. Going to be an incredible week ahead.
And yes, we will pray for everybody who protects Ukrainians, civilians against of aggression. We will pray for churches and all the volunteers who is serving people, helping people to survive with and helping with the food and etc. So please keep in your prayers our country, and we will trust God, and we'll do our best.
Well, we're not only praying, we're putting feet to those prayers.
Yes.
I talked with the guy who's planning to come with me. You don't know him, but security guy. We're on schedule, buddy. I bring my own defense. I trust you and those boys, but I'm bringing an American boy with me. I'm just messing. So, hey, it'd be good. So the point being, we're not only praying and sharing, we put feet to our actions. In 2 weeks from today, you're going to be live on the air with me at the church because we are doing an auction to raise more support for Ukraine. It's going to be huge. So anyway. All right, my man. I know you got travels tomorrow. We've got humanitarian aid on the way. You be safe. Folks, that is the update for today. Day 137.
Okay. See you soon.
You can't leave like that.
Okay, here's.
There it is. A good night to all.
To all, a good night.